Pummeled by stormy, wintry weather and employees calling in sick during the busy holiday season, Delta Airlines and its rivals had to cancel thousands of flights. Despite that, Delta reported Thursday that it managed to boost quarterly earnings. But it warned that the Omicron variant that had disrupted holiday travel would result in a loss in its current quarter. Operational disruptions are expected to add to cost pressures. The carrier said Omicron will likely delay the recovery in travel demand by 2 months. But citing pent-up demand, CEO Ed Bastian sounded confident. He said that while international bookings were down, the transatlantic market would be, in his words, very strong this spring and summer once border restrictions are lifted. And while 8,000 employees have contracted the virus since Omicron became the dominant variant, he said case counts have been declining over the past week, adding that the worst of the variant may be behind them. Investors chose to look at the sun behind the clouds, driving Delta shares up more than 3% in early trading Thursday.
We're seeing the strongest rebound in growth and decline in unemployment of any recovery in the last 5 decades. Over the past year, unemployment has fallen by 2.8 percentage points, and growth is estimated to be around 5.5%, according to a variety of private forecasts. But inflation is too high, and working people around the country are concerned about how far their paychecks will go. Our monetary policy is focused on getting inflation back down to 2% while sustaining a recovery that includes everyone. This is our most important task. When the pandemic struck in 2020, I worked closely alongside Chair Powell, Secretary Mnuchin, and many others with the support of Congress to calm financial market turmoil and save American jobs and businesses. When markets stabilized, I worked to responsibly wind down the emergency facilities that were established. And today, the economy is making welcome progress, but the pandemic continues to pose challenges. Our priority is to protect the gains we've made and support the recovery.
A tech stock sell-off sent Wall Street's major indexes lower Thursday, snapping the Nasdaq's 3-day winning streak. Investors took profits on big-cap growth stocks like Microsoft and Apple, even though benchmark Treasury yields fell. National Securities Chief Market Strategist Art Hogan says investors are more concerned with where yields are headed than where they trade now.
And the new part of the narrative or conversation around rates is that while we seem to have settled into the sort of 1 3/4 level, we also assume that this year we may well see 4 interest rate hikes. So that 1 3/4, likely pushes north of 2%.
Also hurting sentiment, word from Lael Brainard, who became the latest central banker to signal the Federal Reserve is ready to begin raising interest rates in March. Even data showing a slowing of inflation at the wholesale level could not attract buyers. The Dow fell 176 points, down 0.5%. The S&P 500 declined nearly 1.5%, and the Nasdaq dropped 2.5%. Shares of Delta Airlines rose 2%. The carrier managed to boost quarterly earnings despite having had to cancel thousands of flights during the busy holiday season. KB Home shares sizzled, jumping over 16%. The home builder's quarterly revenue shot up 40%, and its profits breezed past analyst estimates. Banks kick off earnings season Friday with J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo up at bat.
At a BioFem facility in Lagos, Chief Executive Femi Mekun shows how you can check these pharmaceuticals are the real deal. Via a barcode on a phone, he can authenticate the drugs. And that's important in Nigeria, where the prevalence of fake medicines is higher than the global average of 10%. In 2009, BioFem had their anti-diabetic prescription drug glucophage counterfeited in the market, causing a decline in revenue.
After the experience we had, and we were able to mitigate that experience using the technology, we decided that all our products was going to have it, so that we do not wait till when it is counterfeited before we protect the patient, which is primary to us.
To fight a flood of fake pills, Nigeria's National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has partnered with startups to create stickers with unique codes. Manufacturers and distributors attach them to boxes and sachets of drugs. Consumers use apps to scan and confirm authenticity. One such app has been developed by Check It Technologies.
When it gets to 5, you win 100 naira instantly.
Founder Dario Adumade says incentives are used to encourage the consumer.
So when the consumer sees the sticker label, has the idea that it's a chance of winning something, that can basically divert them towards authenticating that product. And we've seen that work for us, right? Over 60% of our labels get authenticated in the market.
$4.8 billion worth of fake drugs have been seized by Nasdaq in the past 3 years, says the Director of Investigation and Enforcement, Kingsley Ejiofor. But he said the use of apps is boosting confidence in the pharmaceuticals sector.
So the technology has really helped.
He added that 200 containers of counterfeit medicine are currently at ports, scheduled for destruction, and that the major sources of the fake drugs were China and India.
Tesla is once again delaying initial production of its Cybertruck. A source exclusively told Reuters on Thursday that a plan to begin production later this year was pushed back to early 2023. The source told Reuters that with competition heating up in the electric pickup market, Tesla wants to make changes to the Cybertruck's features and functions in order to make what the source called a more compelling product. CEO Elon Musk unveiled the futuristic-looking truck in 2019 and had already pushed back production from late last year. The company did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Though Tesla is the world's top electric car maker, it's so far missed out in the market for electric pickup trucks, hugely popular and profitable in America. Rival Ford Motors said earlier this month it's doubling production capacity of its own line of electric pickups ahead of its arrival this spring at U.S. dealers. Ford's market value breached $100 billion for the first time on Thursday, while Tesla shares fell 6.7%.
It starts with a Y, ends with a Y.
Musk has said he will provide an updated product roadmap on Tesla's earnings call later this month. Tesla plans to make a limited production of the Cybertruck at its factory in Texas, which is expected to also begin producing Model Y cars early this year.